had the pleasure of going to several places that are in the program of English Heritage. With English Heritage, you get to go to places that are very significant to the history of this amazing country. In England, you can see places such as Stonehenge, Salisbury Cathedral. There's also several of the palaces, the castles, and it's a really great experience. So in this video, I would like to share with you some of the places I've been able to go and see. I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to the Tower of London. This was one of the places I simply had to go here on my trip, and I was so glad that I did. I personally thought this was really interesting. This guard is doing his rounds in front of Waterloo Block, where their crown jewels are held. I was a little afraid of the ravens because they were so large, but the legend was really neat, because if they stay, the kingdom is fine. If they leave, the tower will crumble and so will the kingdom. One fascinating part was being able to see the torture devices. The three I got to see were the Scavenger's Daughter, the Rack, and of course the Manacles, the Rack being the most well-known, of course. The White Tower was also very interesting because inside they had all sorts of weaponry, armor, and anything related to war that you could possibly imagine. I particularly liked the armor of King Henry VIII. One very important aspect to British heritage is, of course, Stonehenge. The video you're seeing of Stonehenge is not doing this place justice. There is nothing like standing up there on that hill looking at these stones. They are something like 30 feet tall, and no telling how heavy each one is. But staring at these amazing rocks and wondering how on earth people from thousands of years ago got them up here, it's an indescribable feeling. It was so amazing to be here, and I loved every second of it. When we got to Salisbury, our tour guide gave us some really useful information that we would need before visiting the cathedral.
There's a number of interesting buildings around here. One of them is, if you look over this way, you see a rather dignified stone house dating from the William and Mary period.
One of the first stops in Salisbury was to go see the cathedral. It's got the tallest spire in all of England at 404 feet, and inside, as you can see, is absolutely beautiful. I was a little weirded out by the fact that they had the graves flat on the ground and you had to walk over them to get anywhere. But I guess that's just the way things were done. This odd contraption that you see is the oldest working clock in all of Britain. Doesn't look like a clock to me. Aside from all the neat artifacts, the cathedral is also beautifully decorated. The abbey you're looking at now is in Bath, and if you wait just a few seconds, you'll be able to look at the building that houses the historic Roman baths. Welcome to Dover Castle. This place is beautiful and has amazing history. Check it out.
Sea crossing to the continent of Europe, giving it huge strategic importance in England's national history. There was once an Iron Age hill fort up here on the cliffs, and even now there's evidence of many other occupiers. Look out for the remains of a fire-powered Roman lighthouse, one of a chain which guided ships across the channel. And next to the lighthouse, a church, St. Mary in Castro.
One thing not to miss in Dover would definitely have to be the White Cliffs. They are so beautiful.
Now that you've seen the historic sites of England, Check back to the Murray State website in 3 to 4 days for the next video.